realize, okay, man, this is real. What they're doing, this is real. And
But it can't look. This is a very good point, Joe. Look at this. Jiu-jitsu is so attached to the MMAs and the Vale Tudos because of the creation, Jorge and Gracie. Let me just go even beyond. There may be something that you don't know about this, right? This is important. In 1991, there was a clash in between Luta Livre and Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil, in Rio. It was the two. Luta Livre as a sport was growing too much, and Jiu-Jitsu is getting was a different demographics because the Luta Livre was practiced a lot in the favelas, and Jiu-Jitsu is a more upscale, aristocrat of art than the Jiu-Jitsu guys. The guys who have money so do Jiu-Jitsu, and the poor kids were doing no-gi, which is more the Luta Livre. Now Luta Livre started growing a lot in Jiu-Jitsu guys. There was a beef that they decided to do an event. That was the first Vale Tudo in 1991.
Did not know that.
Whereas the Jiu-Jitsu guys beat all the Luta Livre guys. And the Luta Livre guys are huge. It's a much bigger size. When this has happened in 1991, this was aired on a prime TV in Brazil. And it was a shock to everybody. Everybody talking about human cockfighting. It was terrible. But every kid in the nation wanted to do jiu-jitsu after that. In 1991. 1991 inspired the 1993 UFCs.
Okay.
And the UFCs was inspired by the 1991. The results was tremendous because it was TV air. It was amazing, guys. The impact of that. Carlson Gracie was a trainer. It was the first time that jiu-jitsu got all together, trained under Carlson Gracie. All the factions, all the teams got together for Carlson to train, and everybody won. 1991 inspired 1993. 1993, in 1991 to 1993, the guys were doing the Vale Tudo. We were already training Vale Tudo. Carlson Gracie's team was already a team, guys, fighting Vale Tudo in Japan. The guys were already fighting in Japan. There was other events before UFC, or at least at the same time at UFCs.
Well, Eddie and I were talking about this earlier because I thought that the jiu-jitsu came, far back from Japan, and
it is.
But it seems like that it stuck for the people in Brazil and the Gracie family and the fact that they perfected it to another level. And then they go, like you say, fight Vale Tudo in Japan, and they're killing it, And
you understand it. The Vale Tudo, before there was Vale Tudo, the Vale Tudo transitioned to the no-holds bar, and the no-holds bar transitioned to MMA, what it is today. The rules started being implemented.
Yeah.
But before it was a Vale Tudo, there was no rules.
It was brutal.
Before that, in Brazil, was a shock of styles. Let's put a jiu-jitsu against the Luta Livre, jiu-jitsu against the capoeira, jiu-jitsu against the karate and boxing and everything else. We already existed this there.
It was like the movie Bloodsport.
It was something like this.
Yeah.
But even before that, there was not an event. So what other guys were doing is the jiu-jitsu guys scheduled with someone, with the Luta Livre guys or the capoeira guys, and they go to one school and those guys fight.
They just do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's pretty common there at a time in Brazil.
That's the
and
real
it
deal.
was very common here into 1990s when really jiu-jitsu started being popular after UFCs here in America. A lot of people started coming and testing. Mm-hmm. And the guys, you have to be ready because you're going to be doing a Vale Tudo anytime because a judo guy comes in, a karate guy comes in, and kung fu, and they want to test. I believe in my, in my skills and my fighting. And the jiu-jitsu guy has to represent. This has happened a lot.
Oh, I know it
happened
has,
a lot
because I've seen videos
on
YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, throughout the years, Gracie never turns down.
But Joe, this is before.
Challenge.
This was before the sport popularized as it is. Because after that, jiu-jitsu grew in a certain way. Because jiu-jitsu has this big thing, a couple things. Number one is you cannot be good at jiu-jitsu without training. You have to break a sweat. You're going to have the touching, the grabbing, and the winning, the losing it. So you're going to have a workout. And at the same time, because there is less impact, all the judo guys, all the wrestling guys, because you can't do wrestling after you're 35.
You're not having double hip replacements.
Exactly.
And this kind of stuff
You
that happens.
can't. You can't. It's just
Yeah.
really hard on the body for you to, after 40 years old, you can't train judo as the same way. You can't. So a lot of people migrate to jiu-jitsu because you have some takedowns. Yes, we do. We have takedowns. Yeah, we train some takedowns. Yes. But it's on the ground. Its impact is way different. So the population is growing, and have this fighting background.
When most of the kids, when you talk to the parents that want to enroll their kids, do you ask them, why does your child want, or why do you want your child to come here? What are some of the answers they give you?
Oh, the vast majority of parents, they don't have much knowledge of what the martial arts is. Number one is. And there's a couple of situations. Now it's even better. People understand it's jiu-jitsu in a certain way, but they don't know exactly what it is. Jiu-jitsu is divided in 4 branches. There is the jiu-jitsu self-defense. You can see it a lot. There's weapons involved, the sticks and the knives and, and things. The self-defense part with Helio is to do it a lot. There is the jiu-jitsu with the gi, the competition that we have it. That is a big champion, Brian. Those guys competing on it. That's true. And there is jiu-jitsu no gi, which is the grappling. The no gi has the part is different than the grappling because the rules are different, but it's a no gi. And there is jiu-jitsu for MMA, which is pretty different, but not just because of striking, but
so you have to stand up.
There's a stand-up, there's a striking, and there is the ground and pound. And there is no engagement. You don't need to engage in an MMA. The guy doesn't need to be inside a guard to pass the guard. No, you just move himself out of it, and you got to deal with that. So all those branches are being taught. You've got to have elements of all of this.
Well, something you said that I watched of an interview of you, you were saying, and this shocked me. Besides, I got to say, I learned more in 30 minutes of watching this one interview about that you did with, I can't remember who you did it with, talking about business stuff and how to run a school where you can, because I've always thought of either you run a martial arts school where you teach it the correct way, it's too hard, most people quit and you go broke, you don't make any money, or you water it down, you give out belts and you get the money coming in but you're teaching crap, and those two things, but that's not really true.
No,
okay.
No,
See,
it's not.
Yeah.
You have to have program. One of the things that I had a chance to do it at the American Top Team there was we have programs from 3-year-old kids, and we have after school programs, and we have the beginners intro classes, fundamentals class for little kids, and it goes to evolve up
So
to
you're getting them
up to the UFC world champion.
But you're getting them at a really good age. Because we developed as people from 3 to 6, tremendous. Oh my God, tremendously. Pretty much probably our whole outlook on
For the
life.
vast majority, though, this is many of the parents bring here. It is the first encounter with any sport that they have it, which is amazing. This is the first time you see a 3-4-year-old kid really actually, when we say attention stance, when we say defense stance, when we say yes sir, man, hey, yes sir, and they say yes sir, and you have to shake the hand and look you in the eye and and pay attention and show confidence.
We were smiling when we were watching. If somebody would have taken a picture of the 3 of us, we were just like, we were just, man, it was just great
But Joe,
to see
I did not know all this. I'm telling you this right now. This was a process of researching. Because when I got here, my whole idea was training pro fighters. And I did. And I did this from Carlson Gracie team, from Brazilian top team, was a very successful team. Some of the best teams in the world.
Yes.
From Brazilian top team to American top team, also one of the best teams in the world. And I have dealt with all the pro fighters that you can imagine. And all beginners, intermediate, and advanced high level guys. Many different personalities, many different problems you can even imagine dealing with a high performance. But the structure, I knew it. Even from Brazilian top team, I knew it. That the success, the financial success of our teams can be in the pro fighters.
Okay.
The window is very short, and is
small,
for the investment is a very, very, very small percentage that guys are going to make it into that level. So it doesn't recoup the money is for investment, but what do you create as a curriculum? What do you create for systems? And
I believe for the 97%, because I know you said only 3% are the.
Oh yeah, 3% are competitors in the high level like Eddie, and 97% are doing this.
That shocked me. It really did, because I
It is true.
thought it was higher compared.
It is in the statistics that is so real, came from the president of IBJJF. 97% trains for recreational purposes. People, and jiu-jitsu has one thing, culturally, you know, I'm a black belt in judo, so I know one of the things I know to judo has in the culture and the structure is very different. You know, the way they do the classes, the way they present the classes, the way you have to structure is just the Japanese model.
Much more traditional.
It's way more traditional. It's way more, let's say traditional, that's the word, but it's not an easy going, appealing for after work type of thing. You know, you got to be so strict. Sometimes you just go from here, not just the
militaristic,
not just the uniform and the presentation and all the and all the, you know, it's culture. It's culture.
And
if you
I'm
understand
sure,
Japanese culture,
I feel like, I mean, there is a place for that a little bit. I mean, because
there is.
We've been, you know, through Japanese systems but then going to,
there is.
you know, something like going to a friend of mine, Ray Dionaldo. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's a world class. He does Kali, Arnis, the Philippine arts, and he's laid back. So when you train with him and you ask him to show you something, he'll never show you anything the same way twice, because he's not really showing you a technique. It's just, I don't know. It's like you learn how to flow with techniques, and it's like footwork. He said, don't worry, the footwork will come. You know, this is what we're doing and stuff. But you can ask questions. That's not, Kyosuke, you know, nothing.
Yeah,
where you're taken out of your.
Look, for us, I think we all here, we went to the top of, you know, of the martial arts, black belts, and it's easier for us to understand because we put time and effort, and we overcome everything that come into it, you know, to accept. So we have way above the average understanding of the discipline of the martial arts and the discipline. But there was one thing about jiu-jitsu has this thing about being very gamified. Let's put it this way: if you know the rules of jiu-jitsu, if you're a white belt, and you know the rules of jiu-jitsu, you know, number one, you know what a tapping is. Right? You got uncomfortable in a position and a kind of submission. You're explaining what submission. You know how to tap, visually tap or tap. Sometimes your hands are there. You've got to explain to the person like they never heard of this before. So you actually go through it. So you learn how to tap. Now after that, you know the takedown was 2 points. Passing the legs, which is passing the guard. The person on bottom with your legs, you have the guard. You pass in the legs, you pass the guard. This is 3 points. 3 points, 2 points takedown, 3 points for passing the guard, 2 points for knee on belly, 4 points for mount position, 4 points for back, 2 points for sweeps. It's when you reverse the position. Once you know this, if you're a white belt, and you know this, and you know from station to station what the score system is, you can play the game, and it's a game. After that, it's a game. It's a game. After that, you try to win. You try to. The submission finishes everything, but you keep trying to win. But at the same time, you're training. You're training martial arts, and sometimes go unperceptive because you're probably never going to use this, right? Unless you're law enforcement or military or you're a bouncer, you're probably going to use that. But if you're not, you're probably not going to use that. Probably never. I know that I've been doing this forever, and I never usually that's it. Percentage, and I'm from Brazil.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have believed
Yeah.
that.
Well, I have
every
my
other day.
share of fightings, but
Okay,
usually,
okay.
believe me, it wasn't me starting.
No, but you finished. That's,
Yeah.
That's my dad always say. Hey, I don't want you to ever start a fight, but if somebody starts a fight with you, I do want you to finish it.
I really feel like a lot of people walking into a jiu-jitsu school, they're just looking for something fun to do.